Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture of general medicine where I make a difficult, boring topic easy, understandable to learn. And for that, the resource which I'm going to use is this Mind Maps book for general medicine by MediStudy Go. This book contains all the medicine topics in a pictorial representation of a flowchart form, which helps you to create a storyline and memorize the topic for your university exams as well as for NEET preparation. So you can get this book for yourself from any e-commerce platform like Amazon, Dentalcart, Flipkart, or even the website of MediStudy Go. So let's get into the topic for today, which is acute leukemia. Before we learn what is leukemia, we need to know which cells are being involved. Leukemia is basically increased production of the blast cells by the bone marrow or the body. Now we need to know which are the two main lineages of the cells which are present in the body, what are the names of the precursor, and what are the end results which form the cells. So to study the lineage of the stem cells which are present, the main cells are the multipotent hematopoietic stem cells. Now what does this term mean? Multipotent or multipotential means they can form different types of cells from one single cell variety. Hematopoietic is that they are going to form blood cells, cells which are going to roam around in the blood, and stem cells because they have regenerating potential. So there are two main precursor lineages which the multipotent cells form into. First is myeloid lineage and second is lymphoid lineage. So myeloid lineage forms the maximum types of cells, whereas lymphoid, as the term suggests, form only the lymphoblasts. So myeloid forms Proerythroblast, Myeloblast, Monoblast, and Megakaryoblast. So blast cells are formed over here by this cell lineage of the multipotent hematopoietic stem cells. Now the proerythroblast is going to convert into normoblast, reticulocyte, and erythrocyte. It's very easy to remember that proerythroblast is going to form erythrocytes, which are known as the RBCs. That is, they are anucleated in nature without any nucleus. Second series is the myeloblast, which forms promyelocyte, myelocyte, and metamyelocyte. Now, metamyelocyte is further differentiated into three types of blast cells on the basis of the type and the segments in the nucleus. Hypersegmented blast cells are the neutrophils. Next come basophils, which have a dense cytoplasm. And lastly, we have eosinophils, which have spectacle or lens-like nucleus. Coming to the third lineage over here is monoblast, and we know monoblast forms macrophage. So monoblast, promonoblast, monocyte, and lastly macrophage. We always say that in inflammation, monoblasts come and they differentiate into macrophage whenever required. Lastly, the myeloid series is going to produce megakaryoblast, which forms promegakaryocyte, megakaryocyte, and platelets. So we know megakaryocyte are the cells which are involved in purpura, that there is thrombocytopenia. Therefore, this forms platelets. So all the cells of the myeloid series start with M except just one. This is how you can remember the series for myeloid lineage. Now coming to lymphoid lineage, it produces lymphoblast as the term suggests, and lymphoblast can further be of two types. They can be large cells or they can be small cells. Large granular lymphocytes forms natural killer cells, whereas small lymphocytes further differentiate into T and B lymphocyte. T lymphocytes are for chronic or long-term immunity, and B lymphocyte is for acute immunity. And B lymphocyte finally differentiate into plasma cell, which is the active cell to engulf any antigen. So this is how you can study the whole lineage of one stem cell, which on the requirement and stimulus of the body differentiates into the myeloid or the lymphoid lineage and further forms the cell. Now what happens in leukemia is that these blast cells are somehow increased in number, which leads to tumor-like or cancer-like growth in the body. So coming to the main topic, which is acute leukemia. What is acute leukemia? It is defined as a group of malignant stem cell neoplasm, which is characterized by the failure of cell maturation and proliferation of leukocyte precursors in the bone marrow. So what happens is that a stem cell is present. It has to finally form different types of blast cells. But if maturation is not going to happen and splitting will not happen, this is going to form myeloid and lymphoid and just stop over there. So this can lead to acute myeloid leukemia or acute lymphoid leukemia, because there is going to be hyperproliferation of myeloid and lymphoid cells, which are not going to mature and split into the final cells which they have to form. This leads to extrablastic proliferation, which leads to neoplasm-like growth in the body. So the two types are ALL and AML. ALL is acute lymphoid leukemia and AML is acute myeloid leukemia, depending on the cell lineage which is getting affected. ALL is usually seen in children of less than 10 years of age, whereas AML is mostly seen in elders above 50 years of age. So this is according to the French American British classification, which classes lymphoid and myeloid leukemias. Now, what are the etiologic agents? Now, why does this triggering of blastic proliferation happen? This happens because of external or internal stimuli. External stimuli like ionizing radiations, X-rays, drugs like cyclophosphomides, and infections can lead to this. And internal is genetic mutations in family history. If positive, can lead to positive offspring also. So these are the etiologic agents. Now we know the pathophysiology is that in this cell lineage, the myeloid and the lymphoid cells are not progressing ahead and they are increasing in number. So these cells are going to be less. Therefore, their specific function is going to be deranged, because if myeloid cells are present in high amount, they are not going to perform the function of RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. And if lymphoid cells are in high amount, they are not going to perform the function of T and B lymphocytes. The specific cell is required for specific function. If all of this doesn't happen, so what are the repercussions and the clinical features for this disease? So the clinical features, if we study, contain all types of symptoms due to the absence of the cells. Absence of RBCs leads to anemia. Absence of platelets leads to clotting disorders. Absence of WBCs and blast cells or lymphocytes and T lymphocytes is going to lead to decreased immunity in the body. So that is how you can easily memorize the clinical features. First, there is going to be neutropenia, which is less number of neutrophils. So recurrent infections and fever will be there. Then because of poor control of the infections and poor immunity, there is going to be headache, confusion, and visual disturbances due to generalized inflammation in the body. Then due to thrombocytopenia, means less platelet count, there are going to be intracranial bleeds, gum bleeding, mucosal bleeding, petechiae, and purpura. Then there can be coloromas and gingival hypertrophy because inflammation is happening in high amount. Then because of anemia, that is because of less number of RBC, there is going to be fatigue, weakness, and breathlessness. And lastly, there is going to be generalized lymphadenopathy because the body's lymph nodes are going to try to combat the infections which are present in the body, but they're not going to be successful. So their size is going to increase and there is going to be lymphadenopathy overall. After we know what are the clinical features of this disease, we need to compare myeloid versus lymphoid leukemia. What are the key differences and how to differentiate a patient for AML versus ALL? So to difference first and the foremost is the age group. ALL, as we said, is found in children or in less age group, whereas myeloid will be seen in adults more than 50 years of age. So first is age. Second is significant lymphadenopathy is present in lymphoid more. Then there is meningeal disease. Now, where is brain going to be involved? When more of the cells are being involved from the T or the B lymphocyte range, which is lymphoid. Then mediastinal lymphadenopathy is seen in all the lymphoid leukemias. So morphology of the blast, the size is going to be, everything is going to be decreased for lymphoid cells and increased for myeloid cells. So the cells are going to be large with moderately abundant cytoplasm, whereas there is one pathognomic feature which is present in myeloid and absent in lymphoid, that is Auer rods. Auer rods are seen on the peripheral smear as seen over here. They're going to be seen in the blast cells, whereas in lymphoid leukemia, they're not going to be present. So Auer rods is a pathognomic feature for acute myeloid leukemia. Then we can perform cytometry tests for which we are going to see positive features in myeloid and negative in lymphoid. Lastly, immunophenotyping, which is the markers, CD markers present on each cell. The most important ones which we need to know is CD19, CD22 for lymphoid leukemia and CD13, CD33 for the myeloid leukemia. And since myeloid lineage forms all different types of cells, there are going to be different markers for megakaryocytes, erythroids, and granulocytic markers. This is how you can differentiate ALL from AML. Once you've differentiated this, we need to come to a confirmatory diagnosis for the patient and treat the patient as per the requirement. So for that, we are going to come to any genetic associations which can be present for the patient. And for that, we check for the presence of Down syndrome, Fanconi anemia, and ataxia telangiectasia, because these can relate to a positive occurrence of leukemia. Other than this, we are going to perform lab diagnostic tests to rule out the type of leukemia and its presence. First is complete blood count, which is going to show us decreased RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. So there is going to be low hemoglobin because of low number of RBC. TLC is going to be markedly raised in lymphoid leukemia because lymphoblasts are going to increase, and this is going to cause leukostasis. Leukostasis means there are going to be so many WBCs that the density of them in the blood is going to increase and they're going to stop the flow. Because if a lumen was present and 10 cells had to pass through, now 100 are passing. So obviously the speed will decrease and that will be like a static condition. Therefore, the term leukostasis. And then there is leukopenia in myeloid leukemia. The platelets are also decreased because all the cell precursors are less. Then if you compare the peripheral smear, as I said, Auer rods will be seen in myeloid and absent in lymphoid. So that is a pathognomic feature. If you perform bone marrow aspiration, it is going to be hypercellular because the stem cells are more. If you see the blood test, the cells going to be decreased because the end result is not being formed. But the source, which is the bone marrow, which is producing the precursor cells, that is going to be hypercellular because too many precursor cells are present which are not maturing into the end result. So bone marrow has hypercellular marrow with more than 20% of the blast cells of the normal count. To come towards a confirmatory diagnosis about the type, we can do flow cytometry and FISH test, which is basically for the chromosomal abnormalities and which marker is present in the chromosome. Lastly, we can perform chest X-ray because mediastinal widening shall be seen in lymphoid leukemia. So this is how we can come to a confirmatory diagnosis for the type of leukemia which is present and if it is present or not. Once done, we come towards the treatment, which is always going to be chemotherapy in the form of actual causative treatment. First is supportive care. That is whatever symptom comes. If infection is there, give antibiotic. Bleeding is there, give coagulants. Accordingly, we can give the treatment, which is supportive care. But the main treatment to stop this blastic growth and promote the conversion is to give chemotherapy. Because that way the bone marrow activity is going to be decreased, stem cells will decrease, and that is going to prevent all of the symptoms which are happening. Then radiation therapy can also be given in certain cases depending on the severity of the case. And lastly, stem cell transplantation is the ultimate treatment wherein the stem cells of the patient are changed, they are transplanted from a family member who is compatible to do so. And that is going to lead to a conversion of accurate amount of cells as per the requirement of the body. Although this is a very taxing procedure for the patient, but if the condition is severe, then this can be the only treatment after which the patient can be saved. This is how you can wrap up this topic of leukemia, which is the acute leukemia in mind map situation. Now, this is something which is a base of the topic. Now, if you wish to prepare for suppose NEET exam and you want some pointer informations other than this base, so you can build the information upon this base which I've just taught. And for that, the resource which you need to use is beyond the mind maps. That resource is available on the app of MediStudy Go. As the name suggests, it is something beyond the mind map. For example, over here I have this. So these are the notes named beyond the mind map, and they contain pointers which are very important for NEET exam. For example, what is the difference between leukocytosis and leukemia? What is the difference between the types, which is leukemic, subleukemic, and aleukemic? For example, if you want to learn what is the classical sign or clue of acute leukemia to be present. Suppose you want to learn what is the classical sign of acute leukemia to be present in just one line. You want to memorize it, revise it for the NEET question. For that, you can refer to Beyond the Mind Maps, and you can see there are going to be bleeding gums because of thrombocytopenia, sternal tenderness because of marrow expansion of the blasts, and lastly, splenomegaly and pancytopenia, which is all the cells decreased, and early satiety because the body is going to be inflamed and spleen is going to be increased in size, which is going to put pressure on the stomach, leading to early satiety and the feeling of fullness. So there are so many other points which you can read from the point of NEET from the notes of Beyond the Mind Maps, and then you can go on to solve some questions. There are some questions in the app which can be solved from this mind map video itself, and some beyond that also. For example, I have two questions over here for you, one in the form of MCQ and one as a flashcard. Flashcard is something which contains question on one side and the answer on the other, whereas MCQ is something which comes with 4 options. For example, a flashcard for you: what is the typical peripheral blood picture in acute leukemia? So it is going to show us presence of circulating blasts with anemia, thrombocytopenia, and leukopenia, because the leukocyte count can be high or low. There can be leukocytosis as well as penia depending on AML or ALL type. And if we discuss an MCQ right over here, important features of AML include all except. So the term you need to focus over here is except, which means all of these are a feature except one of them, which is not. So which of it is that? Malignant transformation of undifferentiated precursor of myeloid series. Yeah, AML is myeloid. WBC count up to 1 lakh. More than 30% myeloblast in blood and bone marrow, or common only in children. So this is something which we studied that it is seen in adults. So this is the answer, how you can flip the MCQ over and view the answer along with the explanation. What comes ahead of this is that you can view that why every option is not the answer. Clear examination explanation is given over here in this chart, which you can easily visualize on the app of MediStudy Go, which is this one. You can get it for yourself from iOS App Store on the Android Play Store. It's easily available. Just download it, log on to it, and you get free 500 coins. You use those coins to get accessibility to mind maps, notes, videos, flashcards, and MCQs. And you can revise any topic in under 20-30 minutes. Watch this video, take down your notes on the mind maps book or in the app itself, and just solve some questions, and you'll be good to go. If you like this video right here, do subscribe the channel of MediStudy Go, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.